Hello everyone, we have a game on our new speedrun with the black pieces rated 638. So he opened with knight c3, so we are out of theory on move 1. We're just going to go knight f6 and develop our pieces. Okay, he brings the other knight out towards the center. That means we can no longer play e5. So we're going to play d5, put a pawn in the center because it's protected. Okay, b4. This is a random move that weakens the dark squares in his position, creates a loose pawn. Whenever we can kick a knight from the center, we consider the move. This doesn't work, this doesn't work. This hits the pawn in the center. So here, hits it twice. It's possible. We could also develop first. I'm gonna kick the knight. If he goes here, I'll just develop my other knight. And then kick it with a6. And he immediately blunders a piece. I'm now up a knight for a pawn with attacks on the rook as well as the pawn, and it looks like he hasn't moved a single thing in his army. So he moves the rook and defends the pawn. So what do? Center and development. What does that mean? e5. Center, development. And for free, because it's threatening the pawn. So you could see how the worse the opponent plays, the easier it is to do the center development stuff. So g3, creating space for his bishop. We could try to stop it with our queen move, right? Getting to the diagonal first. That's a possibility. We don't have to though. We don't really care. I kind of just want to develop. So I'm just going to bring the bishop out. I'm already up a piece. I don't need to play perfectly. I just need to play practically. And I mean, you could immediately create threats on here, but he'll stop you. If you take this pawn, you have to watch out for c3. It's not like c3 works because you can counterattack the rook and stuff, but you have so many options here as black. You can play it however you like. Because again, none of his pieces have moved except, I mean, the rook, but... So h4 comes. I don't know why he didn't develop the bishop. It's kind of weird. I think we should continue developing. So you could have brought out your bishop, you could have taken the pawn, you could have done a lot of things, but this is one way to develop long castle. Now my rook is in the game, right? It's not the most accurate developing move, but it's good. So he goes b5, moving pawns and not pieces. This can't be good. So I'm going to develop and create a mate in one threat, which he should stop. My queen's not going to, I mean, it has to move from here at some point anyway. It can easily be kicked by so many things. It has no business being here now. Okay, so he's continuing moving pawns. My king is perfectly safe. He can never do anything, so this isn't a thing. Also, checkmate in one, so there's that. If we go through the game, probably a move I would recommend you try here is e5. You have the opportunity to play it here. You probably should. I bring out a piece so that I can play d5, the other central pawn push, because his knight is kind of misplaced if we're in a d4 c4 pawn opening, right? So if I get to play d5 and c5, he can't play the equivalent c4 because his knight's in the way. So I use that structure saying that, hey, your knight's misplaced. That's why I go d5. Center development. And then for free, center and development. Why? Because it releases that square from my pieces. If my pawn's there, my pieces can't use it, but now my pieces can. He goes here, which worsens his piece, and then we just develop and defend. He hangs a piece, free stuff. Force move, center, and development. Center and development. Center and development. Easy, you know by now. Development and center. And then checkmate. I mean, what are you going to do about that? So we'll play another one. We're 655, but we're playing an 800. He goes e4, we go c6. We might get an official Caro-Kann on the board. Okay, he plays knight c3. I don't know why they're not playing d4 on move 2. But in either case, we'll play d5 and take control of the center. He takes, so now we're forced to recapture. And now we have the only pawn in the center. He gives us this check, but we simply block the check with our bishop. He can't take the pawn without losing the bishop. If he takes the bishop, we can just take with the queen, defending our pawn. No problem. This isn't the only way to play. You could have blocked with your knight as well. So he brings out his other knight towards the center. Makes a lot of sense. However, I could take his bishop, luring his knight to the side. And then his knight's kind of weird there. That's a thing. So I'm going to take. You don't have to take. It's just one of many options. And now that his knight is on the side, it's no longer pressuring the center. And it's also not threatening or coordinating. So we can just develop. And our position's wonderful. We have a pawn in the center. His knight will eventually have to move a third time once we kick it. Okay, now he puts his pawn in the center, which makes sense. And we don't want him to be able to play c4, attacking our center, and then get the knight behind it. So we might want to kick it now, so he has to block his own c-pawn. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to throw an a6 because it's free, and it forces his knight to block his own c-pawn, which he would otherwise want to put on c3 or c4. And then we'll just close down our pawn chain and develop. So let's close down our pawn chain, solidify, open up our dark square bishop. And now we traded the light square bishop. So we can put our pawns on light and we're perfectly fine. So he develops for free because it comes with an attack on the queen. We could play a move like queen b6 and hit, various things. But you also don't have to do that. You can simply develop your knight to its most natural square and block it. Getting out another minor piece is usually a good idea. They should usually take priority over the other pieces. And let's see what YHT does. I mean, his position's solid enough. So he goes queen d2. Maybe he's threatening or preparing long castle. I'm not sure. But okay. I'm going to play the free move h6. See what he wants to do. If he gives up his bishop, that's good for me. So let's see. If he doesn't, well, it was a free move. We go again. If he does back it up, bishop e7, calm move. Okay, but he takes. So now we recapture with the queen. He's now helping us develop our queen towards the center. putting pressure on their pawn. And he does castle long. Fine, that's cool. We still have a minor piece and some king safety to take care of. We do want a rook on c8. We do want to go b5, b4 at some point. For the time being, we could develop our dark square bishop. Let's develop it to b4. It's active. He might try to kick us, which provokes pawn moves on where his king is. So that would create hooks for us to attack later with our pawns. Do we ever want to take the knight? I mean, you could, but I don't see the reason to because his knight's pretty bad. But either way. I mean, if he kicks it, I think I'm going to maintain the pin. If he ever double kicks it, I can just go back here. Okay, but he moves his queen and aligns with my king. It's a sneaky threat that threatens knight takes d5 with a pin, hitting the queen and the bishop. Not bad from an 800. The problem is I get to take the knight now. Now I'm going to take the knight because he doesn't get to take with the queen. He has to ruin his pawn structure, so in an endgame, I already have targets and good stuff going on. Now my knight can seek better route over here. Also rook c8, also castling. So 3 moves, castling, knight, and rook c8. Let's start with rook c8. Just get a new piece in the game. Aiming at his king, aiming at the doubled pawns. Okay, so he tries to immediately remove the doubled pawn weakness. The downside is it weakens dark squares. Again, he's threatening this thing because my king is in the middle. So I think it's good to get the king out of the middle. And if he pushes past, I mean, I'll just break it down even at the cost of a pawn. So castle, push past. So maybe not. I don't really like that. So maybe just take this. I mean, if he takes with the queen, he's lining up with my rook. My rook's undefended, though. So you kind of do want to castle. So castle, push. If I go here, and he just takes it. And I go here. That's a little bit of a wild line. But it's okay. We will go down that line. I mean, we don't have to play b6. We could do other stuff. Okay, so he does push. Interesting. The other pawn break we have would be here. So we can go rook e8 and play this. This also comes with threats, with b6 to follow. But here, if he just kicks it, you're not actually threatening things. That's pretty funny. And if we go rook e8 and he just throws the other rook over, we don't actually get to play e5. Well, e5 takes. check. Can always swing the queen over too, but okay, b6 it is. Breaking it down, aiming at the king, giving him free pawns because we don't care about the pawns. We have a nice structure on the king side. You know, everything's safe and sound. He's not up material. And his king looks super weak. So he takes the pawn. Can you do that? Okay. I'm going to threaten this. Threaten this. See what he does. I guess you can defend both. Okay, so he moves his king. I mean, I guess that defends both, but you still lose this. You just don't lose the queen. So I'm gonna definitely do that. Also, I can bring my other rook and aim at that guy. And things are looking pretty good. So yeah, I think b6 was the right move to just break down the structure and break through with your rooks. He could take with the queen. It's not, you know, a huge material difference. But the king position is the difference. Okay, so he doesn't give up the queen. He moves it out of the way, but that hangs more stuff. I'm not totally sold on it. I think I should bring my other rook into the game with great effect, staring at the king. And so material's even, but look at his position. Look at his king safety, right? So the difference in this game is the king safety. So he moves his queen again, but he's not threatening anything because everything's defended. Like, once I take the pawn, the knight will be defended too. You can even put late a5 if you wanted, but... So if I take this, and he kicks my knight, my rook is undefended, and I don't have this square. So here, here... Do I have something cool? I feel like I should have something cool. Also, this alignment looks terrible for him. Maybe just go here. Let's do it. I don't know what he's supposed to do. If he goes in the corner, he just boxes himself in more, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure what he does. His king position is just so bad. Oh, he takes the knight, but now I automatically can win queens. Do I have better? I mean, what's better? Just take the queen. And then maybe checkmate will soon follow. Potentially. Okay, so this game went on a lot longer than I expected. From an 800, but kudos to him. He doesn't have any moves now. Okay, so he does go in the corner. We take the queen. He hits our queen. We're just gonna dodge it. He hits our queen again, but hangs the knight. Maybe resign? Nope. He's still just randomly attacking my queen. I'll move it to get some infiltration. He hits me there, so I go back to the light squares since he keeps alternating with his pawns. And he goes here, which does nothing. We're going to take this to set up potential checkmate threats. He gets out of the mating nets. That's fair. So we'll create new ones with our queen. And you can see how our structure, at the end of the day, perfectly harmonious, perfectly solid. And look at our pieces, also harmonious. So we go for the Caro-Kann, force move. Now you have to block with a minor piece, so either way, force move. And then free stuff in the sense that I think this is just a nice position for black, so free positional gain advantage, pawn in the center, knight out, no development problems. No light square bishop, so you can close the pawn chain. This is a free move. Now center and development. Development and center. Free move. Forced move. And development and center, because the knight controls the center, or influences it. You could have also gone to d6, probably even better, but this looks fine. But now that he moved his queen, it makes our move so much better, because we just take free stuff, free positional gain, free endgame win condition, so we do it. And now here, maybe knight is even better, so he doesn't have the move he played in the game, but either way, development and king safety and targets, everything. We just castle. There are other moves, but this is just development and king safety. And then here, I mean, literally this little construction, and specifically the c pawn, is the only thing that's holding my entire army back, you know, keeping the floodgates closed. So we just break it open. Whether he takes or whether we take, I mean, if he lets us take and he tries to take back, we have the queen diagonal, so that can't be good for him. If he takes, then we get the open rook here, as well as the open rooks here. And even if the queen took this pawn, our rooks are connected, so we can go rook a8. He has to move the queen somewhere, and then boom, we infiltrate with the rooks. That's why I didn't care about these pawns. So now you can see why I was sacking them, because he doesn't even have 3 pawns here. So if you could just let him take these and then put your rooks on A and B, they're going to be super strong rooks. So anyway, instead of moving our rooks, I notice, you know, all the threats that this comes with, the serious threats. So we make this improving move for free stuff, improving move for free, and then improving move for free because of all the threats that it comes with that are unavoidable. And then free stuff, tactics, free stuff, force move. He hits my queen like 5 times, and then it's just a checkmate pattern. So hopefully now you can see how we play a different structure than, you know, the Philidor or what you've gotten used to in the past. So this is more Caro-Kann style stuff. You're going to see some different ideas. Hopefully this video helps. Stay in touch with the speedrun, and you can watch us progress with these openings. Good luck in your chess. Submit your games in my Discord. Goodbye.